So we're getting ready to leave Branch Brook Campground in Thomason, Connecticut. We stayed here for the night. We got full hookups, but 30 amp, and
we got to wash some laundry.
We got to wash some laundry, and we got to eat at Senor something Mexican restaurant right down the street. It was very delicious. They had great margaritas and very good Mexican food. One of my favorites. We're headed off to Massachusetts. We're gonna be there for a little while, so we're really excited to kind of hunker down and have some full hookups for a few weeks.
So in this video, we explore Massachusetts.
We came from New Jersey and we ventured off into Connecticut. Now we're at the great, what is it? The great?
I can't pronounce the name of this place. Nobska.
Nobska.
We have to say it with a New England accent. That's where we're at Nobska. And we had to pack the car in Nobska.
And we're staying at the gateway to Cape Cod.
And we're staying at the gateway to Cape Cod. Come along, enjoy this video, and we'll take you around. And we're gonna bring backup because we have some family with us.
I was thinking about the glass of wine myself.
See, she wants a glass of wine. Gonna bring my aunt along here as our official tour guide since she's the local.
We're excited to be here.
Hi, Aunt Sandy.
Hi, Jeff.
Now you're gonna be famous.
So right down here by the lighthouse, there's a little walkway that is dug out, as you see. It is dug out deep. It's actually really cool. Right there is Martha's Vineyard, which is really awesome. And this is a spectacular view. It is really gorgeous out here. I'm an ocean fanatic. I love the sound, the smells. It's just, and the visuals. The visuals are just breathtaking. Just breathtaking here.
So we were driving by, we had to stop and see this marvel of engineering feat. It's the Cape Cod Canal Railroad Bridge. It was built, construction started in 1933. It was opened in 1935. It has a 135-foot clearance between the bridge and the water when it's up. It uses two gigantic counterweights at each end to raise and lower. And according to the local tour guide here, we should see a train come past, so this will be cool. And if we don't, it's still something awesome to look at. Real pretty here. So we're back at base camp after our first day tooling around Massachusetts. It's been raining every day since we got here. Today was the first day there was good weather. I was very excited about that. So we could start a fire.
So hi.
Hi.
Hi. So we are at there's a playground here and there's kids.
So a trip to Massachusetts without seafood would not be complete. And today I'm stopping by the Westport Lobster Company. Skip is the owner of Westport Lobster Company. He was nice enough to let me film here today and show you this incredible seafood. It comes fresh right off the boat. Check this place out. It's pretty awesome. Fresh seafood doesn't get any fresher than this. Scallops, clams, lobsters. This stuff's right off the boat. So we had to do something with this seafood, And my cousin Paul here happens to be a master clam boiler. So what exactly is in that clam boil mixture?
Well, this one behind us is just a small clam boil.
Just a small one. Yeah.
Well, it's a big pot, but the pot's not full. But it starts by seasoning the water. First, you get a decent beer, not a great beer, not a real light beer. You want something that's a little bit hoppy. This time we used Moosehead. A lager is a great idea for what we're trying to accomplish there. Takes the fishiness out of the clams when they cook. Do that with a little crushed red pepper, the wet crushed red, not the type you get at a pizza parlor, and white pepper, some salt, and then you crush up one chunk of a piece of chorizo, Portuguese sausage.
I call it chorizo.
It's a different sausage.
Different
Chorizo
sausage.
is a Spanish
Mexican,
version.
Mexican sausage.
Mexican sausage of a similar. It's a similar.
You learn something new every day.
Similar recipe. It's not really all that different. So if you're stuck with no chorizo and chorizo's all you got on hand, rock and roll.
Right.
But then you, at the local fish markets, we can buy these net bags, which makes life super easy on a clam boiler, as opposed to just dumping all your ingredients into the pot and then having to fish them out. I bag up each of the ingredients separate. Start with onions. You don't need a ton of them because most people don't want to eat a boiled onion, but they're good to help with the flavor and mix in with the clam boil stew.
Boiled onion, that sounds really good.
Then separately you get reasonably half a potato sized chunks of potatoes, about the size of a little bigger than a golf ball, and then you know, however many of those you're going to need for your crowd. I like to add sweet potato, but we did not do that on this particular clam boil.
Sweet potato is a unique ingredient for a clam boil.
It is,
I must say.
It isn't part of the standard. It is something that I like to add because I love sweet potatoes. You got to you start with the onion, let that cook a little. Follow with the potatoes, let that cook a little. Then once those are done, if you were going to do sweet potato, you do that. Once you've put your sweet potatoes in, then you give those 3 to 5 minutes to get started. Once they've taken, you then add your bags that contain chopped up into decent sized chunks, maybe 3 bites pieces of chorizo and linguiça, 2 similar Portuguese sausages. Those can go all together because they're about the same consistency, and they'll cook at the same time. Simultaneously, we add breakfast sausage. Also, we tend to add Italian sausage into the mix because it's similar flavor, but it provides a little bit of added meat to that bite. So you're not just having these tiny little shriveled up breakfast sausages. Now, once that gets a chance to have the water infuse it and get to a real roll and boil, you let that go for about 5 to 6 minutes. Then you add the last of the non-clam ingredients, which is your hot dogs, because hot dogs don't take very long Hot dogs are primarily because, surprisingly enough, it's the easiest thing that you can get the kids to eat out of a clam boil. And at the end of the day, after a lifetime of doing this, you'll be surprised. The adults all look forward to the hot dogs now too.
I've never heard of hot dogs before.
In the clam boil?
Yeah, never.
Huh.
And once that's going, the last thing that you add is your clams. And then once you put the clams in, the clams being still live and cold, it will drop the temperature of the water pretty rapidly. So then you've got to let the water come back to a pretty good boil, and you'll know when the clams are done. They all open up.
You said you cook them about 4 minutes, right?
It's about 4 minutes of a boil. Now, if you've really gone hog wild with having the pot full, the clams may not drop it out of temperature. But because we're doing a small clam boil that's heavy on the clams and light on the other ingredients, The clams, being cold, drop this boil right out of a rolling boil. So it's going to have to get back up and cook for about 4 minutes.
It smells amazing out here. I can't lie. I mean, it smells like $1 million just coming out of that pot right now. I'm so hungry. and then we just, we have this gigantic feast of lobsters here. And we picked these up this morning from the Westport Lobster Company.
Once you're done with the clam boil and you're taking everything out, the last thing we do in the water is we boil the corn on the cob.
I forgot about the corn.
The corn on the cob goes in. It takes, again, the same amount of time it does any time boiling your corn on the cob, but it gives it that flavor that goes along with the rest of what you're eating.
Awesome. Well, I guess the next question is, when do we eat? Look at this spice organization. Oh my goodness.
I am jealous.
Awesome. And then you can actually open it, and that's actually the spice in there.
The spice is at eye level. See, the spice is at eye level. And then if you have medication that you have to take, there's your allergy stuff that bothers your stomach, and then you have stuff for pain. And then you have your vitamins to make sure that you don't eat the stuff up above. And then you come down here, and there's the extra utensils that you need when you're cooking something. Like you never know when you're going to need a whisk. Whether it's a big whisk, a little whisk, whatever, or an itty bitty whisk. So, there you go. Then you can have choppers, so that you can chop eggs up, whatever, or you can just chop it. Those are neat little things. I like those. Okay, but that's what it's for. And then you got all your measuring utensils, stevia.
Where'd you get this
And then
thing from?
this, I'll tell you in a minute. This got named Stash because my grandson came over one day and said, "I know where you hid your stash." And I said, "What?" Because I had candy in a drawer. So needless to say,
You had candy in a what?
Drawer. I knew as soon as I said it, it was going to be, I got candy in the drawer. It's where I parked the car. What can I say? So he named it. He said, "I saw where your stash was." So I said, "Okay, this
You gotta remember, Northerners, we don't have all that time like
So-
Southerners.
This is where I have my stash of candy, so that when he
We
comes
cut out
over,
as
he
many.
can find it.
Yeah.
Stuff with food coloring and things that you can peel stuff with, all different ways. I mean, with all the new utensils that you have, you got to have something for everything. Straws and chopsticks.
Okay.
Extra flatware. Oh, got stash drawer all over the place. And then, of course, you got to have your nutcrackers. See? You like my squirrel for my nutcracker? Macadamia nuts, different types of nuts. What can I say? Spices that are special. Indian cooking. Spanish cooking. Other spice blends, special steak rubs. You know what I mean?
So organized, super organized.
It's called OCD.
OCD. Oh man, look at that tray.
Full of clam.